All in is the state of being laser focused towards hitting an impossibly high goal. I need to do everything in my power. That's what all in is about. What's up, everyone? Today, I'm going to talk about how to get to an all in state. And what does an all in state look like? Looks like this. It's disheveled. It's crazy. It's unkept. It's not worrying about how you look or how you sound or yourself. What it's worrying about, the all-in state, is how are we gonna hit an impossibly high goal. An all-in state is a state where you don't think about how, and you don't think about what, and you don't think about why. With an all-in state, the only thing you're doing is getting in an action. Getting into action. And I'm going to give you a little context of what I'm talking about. 4 years ago, I think to this day, I had to sell $1 million in Salesforce to hit my goal of finishing over plan and retiring on a high note. I'd been coming off 3 years of crushing it at Salesforce. I had finished number 1 in the company one of those years. The other 2 I'd made club. And this was my last year. I knew I was done at the end of this year. I knew that I wanted to coach and I wanted to serve people and I was ready for the next chapter. But I was sitting at $1 million against a quota of 2 million. 50% to plan with 12 weeks to go. And I wanted to quit because in my mind, I didn't have anything to prove anymore. I had crushed it for 3 years. I had found my calling with coaching. I had overcome addiction recovery. I had saved my family. I had a baby, and I had built a side hustle now, which is actually making good money, that I saw a path to replacing my main income at Salesforce. So why the hell was I going to put myself through living hell for 12 weeks and stick around Salesforce? No reason to. I had just come out from paternity leave and was gone a couple months. So I was running behind, and I also was in a different state where I had a baby and my values had shifted. Again, I was sober. I had become Christian. So the money pull wasn't as strong as it used to be. And then I realized the reason I wanted to quit was because I wanted to leave on a high note. I was literally replaying my website saying I hit my quota all 4 years because before I had left, I had been technically over plan and I got behind because the remainder of quota for the year and also for my paternity leave. So I was like calculating where I was against the months that I was there and I had been over. So I could say, well, the $1 million was over for the first half when you take away the paternity leave. And then I realized that I was scared and I still had imposter syndrome. I was scared that I was gonna leave. As I say, I was scared. Look who I run into. That's pretty funny. I was scared that I was gonna leave Salesforce under plan, and that's why I wanted to quit. It wasn't because I was ready, it's because I didn't want to face the possibility of losing credibility as a coach, if I didn't finish over plan my last year. And that's when I talked to some mentors, I talked to my therapist, I said, what should I do? I'm torn. And everyone said, you gotta stay. And the reason I needed to stay was to face my fear. It wasn't about the record. It was about overcoming imposter syndrome. I had to know that I was worthy. In fact, January 31st, the end of that year, I was going to give a talk called You Are Not Your Number. Finding self-worth outside of your quota. And here I was playing out how I wanted to quit so I could keep my perfect record. And that's when I knew I had to stay. And at that point, it was like, I'm committed. No matter what happens, I am not going to say that I didn't leave everything on the table. All in is the state of being laser focused towards hitting an impossibly high goal. It's not about analysis paralysis or coming up with the perfect plan. It's about this will happen because I made a decision that it would happen. I made a decision that it would happen. And for the first time in several years, I'm in that all-in state. I'm always consistent. I always show up. But being all-in is different. All-in is beast mode. All-in is over my dead body, resolve. We are going to make this happen. Hope you're getting as fired up as I am talking about it, listening to this. Because that is a state where you achieve magic, where you make the impossible possible. And afterwards you say, how the heck did I do that? It's because your mindset is one of decision. We are doing this. So why am I in the all-in state right now? 4 years later. Oh, quick end of the story. I ended up, so the all-in state I got in was, what do I need to do to make this happen? Not what like planning on paper, that's part of it a little bit, but it's more like, who do I need to become to make this happen? Who do I need to be? How do I need to show up? That part is way more important. So the person I needed to be was laser focused. And I wrote down, I will stop doing all side hustle activity and only be focused on Salesforce for the next 12 weeks. I stopped my keynotes. I stopped a lot of my content. I stopped, taking coaching clients. It was just laser focused on Salesforce. Who else do I need to be? Someone who doesn't give in to distraction, who executes RGAs all day. In fact, a lot of the stuff I teach now came from that 12-week period. And at the end of the 12 weeks, I finished at 1,050,000. And I ended up selling over 2 million for the year, finishing quota, making club, and retiring from Salesforce on a high note, 4 years in a row over plan. And I knew then I could leave, but I would have left either way. No matter what, I was going to leave saying I did all I can. See, all-in state is knowing you've done all you can to get the result you want. And when you can do that, it doesn't matter if you hit the goal, because the journey has been so much, required you to elevate so much higher than you could before to get there. That's what all-in state is all about. It's about being all in every single day, laser focused on doing whatever it takes. And when you are in that energy, creative solutions drop. So why am I in that state now? It's because my goal this quarter, 4 years later, is to sell $1 million. But instead of selling $1 million for Salesforce, I'm selling $1 million for my coaching business, which will serve so many people and help them achieve the dreams they want, hit the impossible goals they want. It's about what it represents in the market. It's about my employees. It's about our team. It's about growing a better way to sell and teaching integrity, teaching the all-in state. But it's also a personal goal. For me, it just has some silver lining. It's just beautiful to be able to say, I became an entrepreneur and sold more in a quarter than my last quarter at Salesforce. And there's also, it's the fourth quarter. I want to be in the same energy of everybody else. My clients, we're all in this together. And it's also, we're qualifying this year. We've already qualified, but this will be our first year on the Inc. 5000. And we want to finish as high as possible. And it's also because we've been doing a ton of lead gen efforts. We did a 12-week transformation Tuesday. We hired a BDR. We are doing LinkedIn ads. All that stuff is getting us a lot of appointments, okay? And we want to convert. It's time to make those appointments happen. And it's also because I have a $3 million goal. So you want to have exact clarity on why you want to hit this goal. I got 5 reasons I just named. All-in state is knowing exactly what you want and why. And then who do you need to be? Who do you need to be to achieve those results? And the final part is, what do you need to do? But the what do you need to do comes last. The plan comes last. You don't start with the plan. You start with the energetic of who you need to be. Because if you're showing up as a different person, more committed, more energized, right? More empowered, new ideas flow. So for me to hit $1 million, I have to be somebody else. And I'll share what that looks like. I just went on a long run and I'm listening to my mentor, Rory Vaden, on a new sales approach for B2C. All my sales has been B2B. And so he has a framework called Do It Now. And it's all about, again, how to run a discovery meeting for B2C which is different than B2B that I teach. So I need to be someone who's willing to be humble and learn and grow, continue growing. So I'm listening to that. I'm also listening to Chris Doris's All In. I'm getting my mind in the right place. Second thing I need to be is I need to be involved. I have a sales team, I have a BDR, I have LinkedIn ads, I got marketing, I got an email copywriter. But you know what I'm doing starting next week? Is I'm going on sales calls. I'm going on sales calls, okay? So for the first time in a year and a half, I am gonna talk to people who want to achieve massive goals and don't know how to get there in sales. Before I delegated that so I could run the business, build courses, coach, I didn't have time. But for me to get my biggest goal, I need to be involved. And what's gonna happen if I get involved? Number one is the calls are recorded, so I'll have great training material for my sales team that can scale really well. Number two is now we have two people selling, not just Tanvir, but me, right? We're actually gonna give some space to the number of leads we have, and we'll have ideally double the sales, double the conversion, because two people are selling. And it'll free up space to be more strategic in how we're approaching the business, right? Number three, I'm gonna know what's going on. If we're not converting at a high level, I have my eyes on the street. I'm rolling up my sleeves, I'm seeing what's happening, and if I'm not able to convert, right, we'll pivot. But the bottom line is this, I need to do everything in my power. That's what All In is about. It's about doing everything in your power to get the results that you want. So I'm gonna leave you two links. Number one is, if you wanna learn more about the All In state, click right up here, and I have a whole video on how to get yourself all in this state of mind where I am right now. Second link is if you wanna book a call with me. If you wanna talk to me directly about your dreams, about your obstacles, what are you trying to achieve? What's getting in the way? What would it mean for you to achieve your biggest goals? Okay? And get my direct coaching, my direct input, my direct teaching, my direct guidance on what you need to do, okay? You can leave your information right here. You can apply. I'm gonna be taking a handful of clients next year, 10 total, okay? And I have room for a couple more this year. I don't coach a lot of people. It's the platinum level. But if you wanna work with me, or if you wanna do group coaching, you don't have to work with me one-on-one, right? You can click the link up here and schedule a call to talk to me. And I will make sure that I give you, in our time, my direct guidance and feedback on what you need to do. And I'm also gonna tell you how I will help you get there, because you're not gonna transform your life in 30 minutes. Do not book this call if you're not serious about working together, if you're not serious about taking massive action, if you're not ready to bridge the gap between where you are today and your dreams. Because I only want to work with people who are committed to themselves and who are committed to taking massive action, because that's what helps my business. That's what helps my business. Because when my clients are successful, they tell their friends, they tell their colleagues, and we continue to grow. That's how we've been so successful, is because our clients are successful. So if you're not committed to doing what I say, if you're not committed to taking massive action, if you're not committed to changing, don't bother booking the call. I don't want to talk to you. I want people who are fundamentally committed to change, because what got you here is not going to get you to where you want to go. I promise you that. You have to do something different. You have to take massive action. So again, if you want to talk to me, if you're serious, book a call right up here and we can chat directly. I'm only probably going to do this for the next month or so, because realistically it's a Q4 push that we're doing. But if you want to talk to me directly and see if I can help you, I'm happy to chat. Thanks everyone. Make sure you're all in, and I will see you guys very soon, and hopefully I'll talk to a lot of you soon. Take care.